He's like, I can't.
Oh,
He's like, I can't get that. My home can't go up. And he's like, why? Because she has no pubis. He's like, yeah, she has no fucking pubis. He's like, well, I can't get the home without the pubis.
Oh my god, that is...
So dry run.
Oh, really?
It's usually wet, but dry.
Wet runs.
Wet runs are bad. Should do though.
Go.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
What are we doing? The
It's
beer
our
review
bad.
first?
Huh?
Welcome everyone to Walking After Whiskey. I'm Shorty.
And I'm Travis. We're going to break down your latest episode of Fear the Walking Dead tonight.
We're also going to break down some local beer.
Yeah, local brewery from here in Concord, California, right? Epidemic Ales.
Couldn't be a more perfect
Lager at World's End.
perfect beer for our show.
Didn't it just win an award?
It did. It just won a gold medal at the Great American Beer Festival. So
Fudge, yeah.
congratulations to the Epidemic crew, especially Sean Hammer, their brewmaster. Fantastic. So really excited to share this beer with y'all.
We're going to break down that beer. We're also going to break down your latest episode, which is Season 6, Episode 3, entitled Alaska. All right, let's get to this fucking review.
Cheers, y'all.
Ooh, cheers, y'all.
Cheers, y'all.
Fucking delicious.
That's a good beer.
To the review. Go ahead. Start us off, Shorty.
Alrighty. Hi, Travis.
Hi.
Hi. So, me still getting caught up, but stop it. So we bring back though we see Dwight in this episode. I'm just gonna say that right off the bat because I'm super excited.
Mm-hmm.
You said it was coming, and I'm super excited. But first scenes are actually Morgan playing house.
Yeah, we see Morgan and little baby Morgan, where the lady that
Morgan.
delivered her child named her Morgan. It was the father's last request. And we see Morgan kind of building the house around. When we first saw it, it was kind of like in shovels. The person had just found this place for them to be, and Morgan's kind of outfitting it for a mom. He actually mentions, when his wife was pregnant, she's going to keep weight on. He has to keep food coming to her because, she's nursing and sleeping and it takes a lot with a child. So he's obviously filling the house up with not only mobiles for the baby's crib, but clothes and food. And we also find out he has a friend inside who we know is Danny, who's giving him supplies as well for better food for the mom.
Right. So that's interesting because we don't see that kind of bartering going on a whole lot like in the regular Walking Dead show. Right. So I was like, oh, you can just go buy something at
right
from somebody, right?
I saw bread.
So,
I'm like, ugh.
I know, right? Like, who's making bread right now? So that was pretty cool. Obviously, there's a little bit more kind of civilization almost in this other series. So, and then the cool thing that we cut to though is Morgan modifying his weapon, which I thought was very cool.
Yeah, we love the little fact of leveling up, right? So last episode, or the first episode we saw him, he actually took the guy's axe, the headhunter trying to kill him, and now he modified his own staff to have this spearhead on there more balanced. Actually has his spear with the pointy on the one side of it, a little more level. We see Al Morgan just doing some crazy moves in the background with it. He's going to do some amazing kills this year with this axe, I believe.
And then you see in the end before Morgan leaves, he's a lot more vulnerable. Like he kind of opens up to this woman. Yeah. Sorry, lady, I don't remember her name. Morgan's mom, which sounds even odder now. Anyway, so he's becoming more vulnerable, kind of going a little bit more into kind of his personal life, which he normally doesn't do.
Right.
So we see him kind of a little juxtaposition there. We see him being a badass and leveling up his weapon, but also being vulnerable with his newfound family.
Yeah, Morgan's very, I guess you could say very goal-oriented, It's like, clear. He has something to do. Morgan is all for it, headstrong, both feet in. And he didn't want to be around anybody again because he almost got all of his friends killed last time. So even when he met this guy whose wife was pregnant, he wanted nothing to do with the civilization, wanted nothing to do with their encampment. But, he was kind of thrust into it with his baby. He had, a calling. When Morgan has a mission, there's no one better on your side. And as we see with his friendship with Danny still, people really respect Morgan, because he has a moral compass and he's one of the last guys in Apocalypse that's ever going to turn on you. He always has your back. And so as we go from season to season, Morgan is not only the anchor for the show, but, he's actually the moral compass as well. So it's great to see someone like Morgan always being followed through.
For sure. And so then the next part of this episode was I get to see Dwight, which was pretty exciting. And I know Dwight was becoming a better Dwight in The Walking Dead, But now to see them, I mean, he is just a nice guy. Like it's, I mean, it's so crazy to see him now, just kind of a completely different person, the person that he was before the apocalypse happened. So that's really cool. And he's with Allie, who's a great badass. I
before
like
Negan.
her. Yeah,
Right?
yeah. What is that?
Pre-Negan?
Yeah, pre-Negan, Negan.
Pre-Negan?
I don't know what you'd call it. I bet a lot of people were nicer before Negan, but whatever. Anyways, so now you see his relationship with Allie, lovely brother-sister relationship. And then I guess kind of jumping into, so they are going around and they are kind of cataloging how groups of people die in different situations.
Yep.
So the whole Blair Witch Project with the video going on, with the camera going on. And then we see Allie has like some side gig that she's been listening in on. She's been ear hustling.
Sure. So one thing we see when last season when Virginia split everybody up, she goes, "I'm gonna give you guys all jobs and roles that are catered to what you can do." And because during that whole season, you know, they were leaving videos of themselves and like how they can be helpful to everybody else. So Virginia not only knew these people, knew their names and what they did, she was very intimate with them and what they did every day and what they were good at. And so now we've seen this episode what she actually meant. So in these videos we saw, you know, Althea was actually filming people because she used to be a reporter. So she would film people, you know, just in her passing by. As she'd help people, she'd film them, just have them their trials on you know, on cassette. And so Virginia now has this team of Dwight and Althea going to places and cities and finding out why people died, film the wreckage of what's going on so it doesn't happen back to them. And so in this episode we see them in a beginning, you see them in a mortuary or a funeral home, and which is really cool.
And the coolest freaking zombie situation ever with the embalmed zombie.
Right.
That pretty much kicked ass. Like, she didn't even, like, make any sounds. Like, all of a sudden, she was there, and then when you saw her, she was like, it's crazy. That was the greatest concept, like, one of the greatest concepts in a long time. It was great.
I'm surprised we haven't seen that, you know, through all these seasons. You know, it was just someone's been embalmed and just looks perfectly normal, and she can't talk because her mouth's been sewn shut, obviously, for the embalming fluid. So she walks up to Althea, kind of like, you know, she can hug me, and now Althea doesn't know what to do at first because she's like, you look totally normal, your dress looks beautiful, your hair is like, you know, Miss Cleaver, like, what's going on here? Then she tries to get on her.
And then she sees her mouth.
You know, she busts the strings up. You hear like the strings pop, then she goes after. It's like, oh, okay, I get it. It was so cool. And she's like, it smells like embalming fluid. You see it leaking out of her head. Like, oh, they filled her up, and that's why she looks so good.
So that was it's like such a weirdly, oddly great moment in my head.
That was cool.
And then Dwight comes in and saves the day, so we're good as gold.
Right.
And then they find some shitty ass beer, and then we learn a little bit more about Jenny, who Dwight, because he doesn't know about. Or I guess so. Back up a little. So Dwight overhears now. She forgot to change her walkie channel.
Yeah.
So Dwight now overhears the conversation, or hears Jenny on there, that he dubs Beer Lady. And Allie now she comes clean with them, which I'm so used to everybody lying on all of these shows that I'm just like so
Hiding
surprised
things.
when somebody comes clean. It's so bizarre to me, but that's a tribute to the relationship that they have, that brotherly sisterly relationship that they have. But I'm still like, really, you're just gonna come clean like that? And then the whole time I was thinking, something's got to be wrong. So she's not telling him something, but she was honest with him.
They didn't make it very clear, and it's like, you know, in the apocalypse, you kind of, you know, you kind of covet and you focus on things, right? And so she has like this, I guess, made up relationship with this person over a walkie-talkie, this channel that she had found accidentally, and you know, she kind of listens to her, and you don't ever find out they actually know each other, but her voice is somehow comforting to her. I don't know if she knows her from somewhere else, maybe she knows her from somewhere else, because she preludes to like this voice is something meaningful to her. When we never seen this person on the show, we know they don't know each other personally. We don't think we do. So it's very awkward to see what's going on here. But you know, when you have nothing to really hang on to, she's clinging on to a relationship with a person she doesn't really know.
But it's interesting that it's very parallel to, oh my God, Mullet in his relationship with Eugene, in his relationship with the you know, the mystery voice. So it's so nice little parallel there going on. Anyway, so she comes clean, and now Dwight wants to help her actually kind of complete her mission and help her get to the rooftop, meet up at the helicopter. And I'm not even...
In the helicopter, and so they go up this building, and as they get halfway up this tower to meet this drop-off place, the helicopter drops off supplies. They meet these office people. It was like, I guess, One of the floors was for people that did like they were like
She was a travel agent, though.
yeah, she was a travel agent,
Yeah.
but they also was agency for like stars, like people in the media, things like that, which is kind of cool.
You want to talk about your theory?
I was hoping that we would see Beta on that back wall. If you look through, maybe there is a picture of Beta because actually they're publicists for people,
Oh yeah, we should
right?
have paused. And looked.
Right, it was so cool. So I think that's gotta be Beta back there, right? That'd have been such a good tie-in, but nothing that I saw that I could link up to.
That would have been the best Easter egg.
Wouldn't
ever.
it have been?
Like the best egg ever.
You heard it, Fear. Get on your shit, right? We're looking in the backgrounds of stuff.
We're for hire, so if you want any great, brilliant ideas, let us know.
So we see in the beginning, and like I've always said, there's in episodes like this, there's not enough time to have any kind of needless dialogue. In the beginning, Dwight says, there was a rat in my sleeping bag, and we find out there's rats eating zombies, and so we get to about the fifth or sixth floor of this building, we find out there's the plague there being spread by rats. We know that because Althea has seen this before in her field work in Africa, and she knows what she's looking at. And so everyone on this floor has been infected. They're trying to have them call Virginia, but they're saying, we call Virginia, she's going to kill everybody here. Like, she's not going to keep anybody that's infected with this shit.
So how awful that in the middle of the zombie apocalypse, now we have to deal with the bubonic plague. That's so terrible. Like, so terrible.
I'm surprised we haven't seen it, sooner.
But it also feels like it's a known thing because like that kit that ended up being on the rooftop like had all kinds of medicine and stuff in it. So it can't just have been this only place. They had to have seen this before because obviously they knew what it was. They knew what was going to cure it. So
I think that they're showing more animals. We see rats here. We've seen wolves on the World Beyond. I think they're trying to show when we all die, the bugs and animals will take the world over again. They're going to run us over. So I think they're kind of just give us a little bit more of a tasting of what post-apocalyptic world actually
you can't
is.
talk either.
I'm getting there. I've been drinking, and I'm not gonna stop either. So they get to the very top finally, and we find that there's a drop zone there. Althea goes up by herself because Dwight's been infected, and so he doesn't want to go up there and diminish her chances of getting off this building. He's gonna die with everybody else that's down there. And so Althea goes up there. She lets a flare off, but beforehand she sees this video that Dwight made for her, saying, "Hey, I miss you. I hope you have a great time. When you get with Beer Lady, have beer for me. I love you, sis." And very much like they've been doing this for a long time now together. So obviously they bonded, and they're probably just really good friends or brother sister thing. But I think that she kind of was like, I don't know what this person is. I don't know what's going to happen with them, but I know Dwight loves me and we're good friends. So I'm going to go back to the family.
Well, that, and he knows he's been infected. And so Laura was going to help him. So he stays behind to try to, she's going to help him find medicine. So he stays behind. And then, change of heart happens. I don't know. I don't want to leave my brother. Whatever the case may be. So she has second thoughts and she ends up, we all decided I don't know what the flare was for, but okay.
Sure.
A pretty light show.
Right.
We don't really have fireworks often in the apocalypse, so might as well light one off when you can. So lights the flare off and then gets a hold of Jenny, Beer Lady, and says, never mind, don't come here, it's not safe. They all have the plague, you're gonna be infected. And it turns out she didn't want to go because she wanted to stay behind with Dwight. She didn't want to lose a brother again. She said she had alluded to the fact that she didn't even allude. She said she already lost a brother. So.
Oh, she had left his videos. But it was when I thought she got on the walkie-talkie that she was having a conversation with Jenny that made more sense to me. They had the secret thing on a secret channel. They talked. The lady Jenny got on the microphone on the walkie-talkie was like, "Who is this? Get off this channel. Don't be on here." And Althea was like, "Oh, just so you know, it's good to hear your voice." And she's like, "You didn't hear me, get off this channel." So it was very much this is all kind of made up in her head. Maybe just this comforting person, that she just soothed her.
I think that Jenny did that because she didn't want the other people on the channel to hear that there was some weird relationship going on in the back.
Sure.
So it's whatever that is. What is some motherly, sisterly thing? I don't know what's going on. The one thing though about this particular episode, and now I've seen a couple episodes of Fear, seen a couple episodes of Beyond, and then, obviously Walking Dead. This was one of the most compassionate episodes I've seen on any of the shows.
Sure.
It was all about really trying to take care of each other and making decisions that were based on the other person versus most of the shows it's all based on yourself. Everyone's out for themselves. So it was, that kind of resonates in my head. It was definitely one of the most compassionate shows I've seen.
When I just saw it here the second time, what made me think of, if you don't like The World Beyond or you don't like Fear the Walking Dead, be like the whole universe, well, how how coincidence would it be if actually is a Jenny at the CRM on the World Beyond? Like you have to start watching all of them together because they're all stacked upon each other.
Right.
So, right. So that's what I'm thinking. Like how coincidence would it be if you've seen a Jenny in the World Beyond now in the CRM helicopter? Like, oh, that's who she's talking about. So we might start drawing more conclusions from each episode and from each series together, which actually is better as a whole because it makes them all better together, I think.
Or taking, trying to go back and replay all the voices from CRM to
Right.
see if it's the same person.
too.
That kind, that kind of stuff. And I don't have that kind of time in my life, but I'm sure somebody out there does. Somebody out there, I'm sure, has already made. Oh yeah, I ran it through and I put the voices together and they're exactly the same, all the levels, all that kind of stuff. I'm sure somebody's already done that.
Well, Jenny could be the whole is just an A or she is a B.
Correct.
Who
That's
knows?
correct. That's
Legit.
what I'm thinking too. So the other thing I just want to acknowledge is the office scene had the best use of office supplies ever.
Oh yeah. If you watch the movie that
It was a
Glenn
good
was
scene.
in earlier last year, where they were in an office setting where they all had to kill each other in there as well. This was way better, like with the bottom of an office chair. I mean, actually,
With the hole punch.
he had an axe in his hand, and Dwight chose the 3-hole punch. Like I get the motion, but geez, you have an axe, buddy. Like it was really cool watching.
Yeah, it was.
It was good.
It was really really good.
And I thought it was a good episode. I
It was
liked the
good.
episode. It was great. The very final ending. I mean, very right.
See, again, compassionate, right? Like it was such a loving, like it was such a sweet episode. Like it should have been around Valentine's Day when we're watching this episode, not Halloween.
Right. It looks so much like the director from 16 Candles and Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
It just seemed just so iconic. Them finally meeting each other. But we know Dwight and them from Walking Dead from season 7. You see season 8 when this all first happened, and just how they got broke and split up. And Dwight's been looking for her for over 7 years now. So it's been just it was
Right.
amazing to see them together and to see him run up to her and then stop at her because even in the apocalypse you don't know who this person is anymore. She could be someone totally different, and then they just embraced.
Well, in
Such a
my
good
head, I
ending.
really did think because it's ingrained in my head that something is always gonna happen. Something
Wrong.
bad is always gonna happen. So I thought she's gonna stab him. I really thought something bad was gonna happen.
Or zombie
there
falls off
there
the
was
building.
nothing bad that happened in this show.
They need
Like, this isn't normal.
They needed to start raining in the alley, and then you needed Thea to hold a boom box. It was just so John Waters. It was amazing. It was
Or
such a great scene.
Jenny comes back in her helicopter, mows them all down. That would be typical of any of these shows. But to have just a lovey-dovey, complete, well-rounded, everybody gets along and it's all happy days, is not normal.
Well, it's not. So now we're set up now because we know that Virginia's this evil bitch, and now Dwight has his wife, and if he brings her to the fold, they're not going to have them together. They're going to split them up again. So now
And that's
Dwight
not
has to.
gonna happen.
So Dwight has to go somewhere. And the beginning of this episode, he was giving Althea his out. Basically, we find a zombie that looks like you, Althea. We'll beat it up, mess its face up, and I'll tell her that you bit it. And so basically, that was always my plan, was to do the same thing, just dress up my stuff on a zombie kill. So now he's like, to stay with her, he has to now leave this group that could possibly track them both down and kill them both. So it's a very, very amazing time, but it's going to be short-lived because there's so much more to go on now.
I also need to say that Laura is a badass. I love the little travel kind of agent story
she's
or whatever.
amazing.
But she was able to kill her friends and coworkers. Most of the people in the show would have been like, no, I can't do this.
Well,
She was like, I got to do this, and she did it.
Well, she's a travel agent, so she's already dead inside already. She already hates her job and hates her life, and she even alludes to, she's like, I'm trying to get people to go visit places, out of Wyoming. And so the funny thing about it,
terrible.
I was always too scared to go myself.
Sorry, travel agents.
You know what I'm talking about,
We
travel
love you.
agents. You already
And
know
if you
what I'm
want to
talking
hook me up
about.
with a free trip to Disney World, that'd be great.
Even a half trip, whatever.
A half trip.
You get a half trip, just find
Get
me there
halfway
one way.
there.
One-way
Where's
ticket.
halfway there? Halfway there, I don't want to be
Work
halfway
your way
there.
back. Good review, good episode.
Really good episode.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks, Epidemic, for making great beer.
Fuck, they can brew a good goddamn beer for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go into the beer review.
Very good.
Ready to go?
You ready to go?
All right.
Let me get rid of my notes.
All right. Well, here on Beer the Walking Dead, we review beers, and we usually use local breweries from the Bay Area. Today we're reviewing Epidemic Ales right here in Concord, California. Oh my God, it's an amazing brewery. Shorty, tell us about Epidemic Ales.
All right. So when we started doing the show, it was always in my head that we absolutely have to do Epidemic. Number one, it's perfect for the freaking show.
Right.
There couldn't be a better brewery made for our show. We've actually done a commercial for Epidemic before. That's if you scroll back 8 8,000 years ago. You'll find it on our Facebook page.
8,000 pounds ago.
Probably on
Jesus.
YouTube, right, too. But so anyway, so I really, though, why this is so appropriate. So this beer I picked because it just won gold medal at the Great American Beer Festival. So congratulations, Epidemic and Sean Hammer. They're freaking phenomenal brewer. So last week, if you watched the show, Amanda and Kathy, last week, if you watched the show, though, Travis, for some reason, brought me a hazy IPA. Not an IPA fan, although I love Heretic. I actually had to put that when I post the video because it has nothing to do with Heretic. But, so I picked this one. Number one, it won gold. Number two, because I like lagers. And number three, just because I pretty much love anything that Epidemic produces.
Yeah,
So.
when we actually go there, the place is amazing. Decked out with skeletons everywhere. They got trivia nights there. They always have like a food truck that rolls up. Like it was a grilled cheese truck comes up sometimes. There's not a bad beer there. They make amazing beers as to their medals that they've won. They're amazing staple here in Concord, California. Very clean, very nice atmosphere, very fun. The beer tenders, I mean, we'll talk to you forever about their beers. One of my favorite ones they have there is called Nightshade. It's a bourbon barrel stout, so good. They got Vanilla Villain.
That's going to be released soon too, I would imagine, right?
You're gonna see a lot of their beers on this show. Please go there. The people are amazing there. They'll talk to you forever about their beers. This
The
American
owners
Lager.
are fantastic. Thank you, Aaron Holland.
Thank you, Aaron.
The hubbies.
This is American Lager today. It was a lager at World's End. It's a really very, very, very American lager. Not a whole lot to it. Lagers are pretty straightforward. Very refreshing.
Crisp,
Ice cold is
clean,
great.
No hoppiness.
Yep, no hoppiness.
No
just,
hoppiness makes me hoppy.
just wheats and barley, and you'll love it.
Or you could cheers me or just drink or
If
whatever.
you like American domestic lagers, this is perfect for you. Absolutely. But like I said, don't be afraid to try their IPAs. Are good. Their stout is really good. Oh my God. Try all the beers. Get a flight and tell them we sent you. They'll take like a quarter off or a high five. Either way.
Nutty but
Just tell them we
nice.
sent you. Just keep saying our name.
Oh, and by the way, I have to say this too. You should join their mug club. If they're probably the best mug club, and me and producer Paul have been involved in a few, the best mug club you can ever possibly ask for. So
It's like a free beer when you walk in the door, right? It costs $100 a year or something stupid like that.
whatever it costs, it doesn't even matter. Pay thousands, it just really doesn't matter. But you get heads up to like all the great things that they're doing. And the one thing about Epidemic is they've tried to continue with the stuff they would normally do. So on their anniversary, Skull Fest, all that stuff, they give you the heads up, have you come in, still stay socially distanced. But now that they have the food trucks there and everything, you can sit down, get a beer, get some food, have a great time, and then hopefully when everything... Oh, and they have a little bit of capacity inside the brewery now, too. So if you're not an outside person, you can actually... there's a limited amount of seating actually inside the bar now, too, or inside the brewery.
Yeah, and just on a general note, not only in the Bay Area, but every brewery that you know of by your house, please support them.
Buy local.
At this point right now, everyone, they're doing beers to go everywhere you go, growlers to go. Support local. They need your help. Everyone needs to help everybody else. Go get some beer. You got to drink it anyway, right? Why not buy locally? So please go into your local brewery, buy some beer. If you're around the Concord area, go to Epidemic Ales.
please
Their
go
Beer
to
of the Month
Epidemic.
Club is amazing. Their swag is really cool, and we love going there. It's a great time.
Yep.
Thanks. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Happy Halloween. Holy shit.
Happy Halloween.
Halloween is on Saturday.
Happy All Hallows Eve.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Nothing's like Halloween in Salem, though, I'll tell you that. I've been to Salem before. It is Halloween year-round there. It's a good time.
It's Halloween year-round in my house.
But we are in Salem right now, so we're okay. There's no lobster roll sandwiches here, but it's very Salem in this
There's a
bitch.
lot of alcohol and Halloween.
Lots of booze here.
That's how I make it through.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, y'all.
All right, get out this bitch. Oh. Okay, much them out. All the show is shit. Fuck you guys. Don't quit your day jobs.
Oh my God, don't say
If you
any
like
of this.
805, do I have the beer for you?
Oh my
Do I have the
God.
beer for you?
You're about to get fired. You're about to get fired.